Hi guys, and welcome to an unboxing video. So today we are unboxing live feeder insects, but they're actually in this style box, which is very thin, as you can see. So they're basically like letterbox feeder insects. We're gonna have tubs in here that look a little bit different than what we're used to, so they can actually fit through your letterbox. Now, to be completely honest with you guys, I have been sent these. These come directly from the farm, and I thought, although I'm lucky that I'm at home a lot of the times, I can receive parcels, a lot of people aren't, and a lot of people don't want to have to, you know, order the food online and then maybe their neighbour has to take the parcel in, or the parcel gets left in their garden. Maybe having food that can go through the letterbox would be very beneficial. So I thought I'd review this service, see what I think, see what you guys think, and it may be quite helpful. Now, the only thing I have done is actually remove the address label. Other than that, I haven't opened it. I actually don't know exactly what I'm getting. All I know is you can fit 4 tubs in here, so if you are buying them, you can mix and match, and 4 per parcel will work. I believe this is only available in the UK, but I know some of you like these unboxing videos, so hopefully you'll stick around for that anyway. But yeah, let's open this up. So let's have a closer look at some of these boxes. Let's look at the wax worms, because we're quite used to seeing these turn up in those little tubs. So let me get a comparison. So this is a tub we're kind of used to seeing, and this is what these come in, because obviously you look and that's, well, that's like a lot thicker. So definitely this is one good way of sending them. There's actually quite a lot in here, I'm surprised. Nice and healthy, nice and chunky. As I said, they do come straight from the farm, so really they haven't been sat around very long. They probably have been fed quite like recently. I will probably change these into a similar box here just for like storing, because can you hear those locusts? Let's get them over here. I don't like to leave them in the shipping tubs anyway, and definitely not in something like this, but obviously for shipping purposes it's really handy. Now, in terms of locusts, I know you get different amounts depending on the size. I previously had locusts, if you've seen that video where I tried them for the first time, I think they had about 20 in there, and looking at this, let's quickly count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We may have about 11 in here. So there is a bit less, but if we look at the crickets, there's actually a decent amount. Now, one place I've seen that actually does do the service is Letterbox Live Foods, and I do actually have a discount code for them if you do want to try them out. Now, these ones are a little bit smaller than I'm used to, because I usually get the standard size, so I will have to keep them and feed them up for a bit before my leopard geckos will eat them. But they may be good for Lyra or Drogo, but of course you can get bigger sizes if you need to. And the last tub is, of course, Morio Worms. It actually looks like we got a decent amount. As I've previously said many a times, Morio Worms are not supposed to be a staple diet, it's more like a treat, but I have found these last so much longer, so you can get like a load of them and they'll do you well for a long time. Right, so let's unbox some of these. So the first one we're going to do is Locust. All I have really for bedding is wood shavings. I should get some of that bug grub. I know you can actually buy some of that. Might have to get some. Now, the locusts, if I'm being honest, they don't last very long. Considering there's only 11, I'm not sure if they'll last one feeding, to be honest. As we saw in that video, my geckos actually really like them. So we'll make them a nice house for now, but let's quickly get their little tub open. Okay, so I was worried actually that this was only sealed by the sticker because the sticker had come off, but no, it's actually pretty well sealed. Now, I have heard that this is more insulated, which if you're ordering feed insects during the winter, that's what you want. There you go. And also, if you may be wondering right now, how do I even get this? Apparently, if you ask, you know, in store or online if they offer this service, then maybe they will for you. But as I said, there is one website I know for sure that sells it, and I'll link it below, but you can still ask in store and online if they will do the service for you. Now, I've just put in some insect fuel, so hopefully they'll go over to that in a moment and eat, but that's the locust done. Next we'll sort out the Morio Worms. Now I usually do have like, I put in a bit of earth mix or something in there. Right now I only have wood shavings, which isn't ideal. You know, it's not bad, but you'll have to do for now, and they've got some bug grub in there. Actually, quite interestingly, following my video about that Hikari diet, a lot of people asking me about whether oats are fine. And one of the reasons I moved away from oats, then oats aren't necessarily bad. If you have oatmeal, you'll be fine because the way that's processed, the bran's taken off. And as we discussed in that video, the bran will actually prevent the absorption of calcium because it's so high in phytic acid. So if you use oat bran, then yes, you're going to have a problem. If you use oatmeal, that's not so much a problem. The biggest problem comes when using oatmeal is if you don't have enough ventilation, and so when you put food in and there's all that moisture in the air, there'll be like a mold build up, which we don't want. So you can still use oatmeal, just make sure you have enough ventilation. But we're going to pop in some insect fuel for these guys. And then next we'll sort out the waxworms. I will say there are like wood shavings and bits just from the bug grub and wood shavings, so I apologise for that. But I'm actually going to put these in a slightly bigger tub. This usually has like the Morio Worms in, so I thought it would be a bigger area to aim for. Wow, I've really made a mess now. I'm actually thinking of maybe doing like a wax moth, wax worm breeding situation, because I have a lot of waxworms at the moment, and so I thought that might be, you know, a thing to try. If anyone has any tips, if there's any helpful videos about setting that up, please link them below. I have tried it once in the past, and I actually bred the wax moths down in the garage in a big jar. But once the babies had hatched out, they were so tiny that they escaped the jar. Luckily it's in the garage, but yeah, let me know if there's a really good setup to try, because I'd like to try that. Now with regards to the crickets, I actually already have some, and they're all sort of the same size as the ones I've got. They're all a bit too small, so I've been keeping them recently to sort of feed them up, get them a little bit bigger. And luckily actually, pretty much all my geckos are eating at the moment. So we're gonna, oh wow, we're gonna merge them together. Now, what I have found, because I always get standard silent brown crickets, smaller ones jump so much higher. So if you're wondering why usually my crickets don't jump out the tubs but yours do, it might be that your crickets are really small, because they really have a jump on them. But I'm going to give them some insect fuel too. I like to just make this up and add water to it, because it gives them that added moisture, but then it can dry and they can still eat it when it's dry. But yeah, we have quite a few in here. I might add a bit more hiding spaces for them. Nothing wrong with that. And that's another thing, if you notice you have a tub of mealworms and they're pupating really quickly, someone pointed out that sometimes if they don't have that many places to hide, it will encourage them to pupate. So if you're noticing that, obviously it could be down to temperature, but it's worth a try just popping something over the top of them so they can hide. So yeah, we have a whole variety of feeder insects. Of course, there are others you can order. As I said, I'll link things below that will be helpful to you guys. But I hope you've sort of enjoyed this unboxing. In terms of a review, I was slightly expecting a few more locusts in comparison to, you know, if you look at the size of these, what you'd get in a normal box for locusts this size would be, I found, about 20. So there is a few less than expected. For crickets, I was pleasantly surprised. There was a lot. Morio worms we got a lot, and so did we with waxworms. So maybe it's just a locust that's a little bit slightly underwhelming, because I don't think they're going to last me very long. But, you know, in terms of getting through your letterbox, the packaging, all of that, it's all been really good. So I hope this video has been helpful. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and goodbye.